Well, hello there people, what's going on? My name is Big Moon and this here is some Battlefield 4 gameplay. We're going to be playing some Conquest on Dawnbreaker. I'm going to be using the tank for the first little part of this gameplay here and killing some fuckers with that, doing some damage, and we're going to be talking today about Battlefield 5. Now, I haven't gave my 2 cents yet about the supposed leaks that happened over the last couple of months concerning Battlefield 5, or Battlefield Eastern Front as it's supposedly called. And we've had neither confirmation or denial from EA about these leaks, so we don't know if they're legitimate or anything at all. That's pretty much the policy of these big companies these days. If they don't say anything, you don't really know for a fact if it's true or not. And I pretty much want to go off the back of it being partially true. At least some stuff in there is probably true, because where there is smoke, there's usually fire. So there must be something. So I want to talk about my thoughts about what they're going to be doing with this upcoming Battlefield title that will probably come out this year. Because we've had all this information come out over the last few months, that usually means they're gearing up to tell us about it over the next few months, possibly at their big event after E3 in June. But they might actually reveal this information earlier than that, as they've done so far. This month they've already revealed Titanfall 2, as well as a couple other little things, and shown some Mirror's Edge and shit. So possibly over the next few weeks we might actually get some more information about Battlefield 5, but let's dive into it anyway. Now, the first leak was that it was going to be a World War I first-person shooter, but there's a little bit of a contradictory couple of DLC leaks that did come out after that. Again, we don't know what's real and what's not, so let's speculate. There is one page of those leaks, the one that was talking about the DLC itself, that I would say, if it is real, then it pretty much confirms exactly what the game is going to be, and that is a futuristic first-person shooter that is going to be World War III, which is not what people were really expecting. As soon as people heard like a World War first-person shooter game, it was going to either be World War I or World War II, because of course both of those big massive wars had eastern fronts concerning Russia and Germany. If they were going to go down the route of doing World War III, they could of course fictionalize another eastern front between Russia and all of Europe or whatever. That's at least what this document is saying in it, is that it's going to be a campaign about Russia trying to take over Europe and trying to take over America and stuff like that, because Russia's the big evil bad guys all the time. But if this is the case, then they're going to go down World War III and they're going to do futuristic tech and all that stuff. I'm going to be slightly disappointed, because I was kind of hoping, after there was that leak saying that it was going to be World War I thought, oh, that's different, that's interesting, I want to see how they do that. But if they're going to go down the route of yet another modern and slightly in the future first-person shooter, then to me, this is, you know, I'll be excited for Battlefield, of course, it is Battlefield, but it's not an interesting setting. That's the one thing about Battlefield that it's kind of shit over the last couple of games. The setting for them is a bit meh. I don't really give a fuck about what's going on. I've never even played the Battlefield 4 story. That's how much of a shit that I give about the setting for these games. It's just another modern day shooter. There's so many of them as it is already. I would like to see something different. I think the name of Battlefield could allude to more historical battlefields that have happened at least over the 20th century, like World War I and World War II, or even Vietnam, or even a number of other wars. They don't have to be with the US, by the way, like every game ever is. So when they were talking about Eastern Front, World War I and stuff like that, I was excited, because I was like, oh shit, that's different, you know, it's Germans, it's Russians, it's possibly Austro-Hungarians rather, and it'd be different. It'd be something just that I would actually take a vested interest in, because I am a huge history nerd and I like all that shit, so to me that would be interesting. And also, like people were saying when it was World War I was the thing everyone thought it was, everyone was like, oh no, we don't want that, it's just going to be sitting in a hole in the ground shooting people running across an open field with a machine gun. And a lot of World War I was that, but not necessarily in the Eastern Front. There was a lot of to and fro going happening there. They were attacking, they were defending, everyone was fucking having a go at each other. It was all out chaos. There was huge advances by the Germans, then there was huge advances by the Russians and the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It was just a lot of shit happening. Now, of course, I am paraphrasing and really condensing down this information, because I'm not going to give you a history lesson. Because you see, the thing that I was thinking was that possibly they could go down the route of alternating Battlefield titles like they tried to do a couple of years ago with Medal of Honor, where they were trying to have a Medal of Honor one year, Battlefield the year after that, and then alternate it every year, have at least one of those coming out. They might be trying to do that with Titanfall these days, I don't really know. But what I was kind of hoping was that if they were going to go down this route of doing it with Battlefield and having a Battlefield game out every year, that possibly they could have a historical game one year and then a futuristic or modern day game the next year, or maybe even just work around doing spin-off games like Bad Company. People have been dying for Bad Company 3 ever since 2 wrapped up. They kind of left it on a bit of a cliffhanger and then just, didn't go back to that. It's been 6 years for fuck's sake. But, that was a bit of a side note. But, I would like to see them do something different, rather than it just being the same games over and over and over again. I mean, I love Battlefield. Battlefield is a great game. It's a great multiplayer shooter, and when everything works in it, it's easily the best online FPS, in my opinion. There's a lot of really good ones out there, but in my opinion, when Battlefield's good, it's really fucking good. Now, don't get me wrong, those games are kind of rare to come by, because there's way too many matches that you get where your team are utter dog shit, or the other team are utter dog shit. That's just kind of the way that it is, unfortunately. But when it's good, it is really fucking good. And I would just like to see them expand on it a little bit more, and have some more interesting settings. There's so many, when you talk about just battlefields, you honestly could pick so many interesting settings when it comes to these games, rather than like Hardline. That wasn't even a Battlefield. I don't understand why they called it that in the first place, even though I thought the game was okay. It was kind of fun, but it kind of just died out really, really quickly. So of course, they're probably not going to go down that route of having those kinds of games. They need to, if they're going to do that, if they're going to have alternating years of Battlefield titles, they're going to have to actually use legitimate Battlefields. So I'm holding out hoping that they're going to go back to Battlefield 1944, or even if they went all the way back to World War I, I would love that shit. I mean, especially right now, it is, of course, 100 years after World War I. Right to the day right now, the Battle of Verdun is happening. 100 years ago to the day. So, stuff like that, I think, would be really interesting, would be really cool, and you could do some really cool shit with it. Like it mentions prototype weapons on that final sheet. Now, whether or not that means prototype weapons in modern day futuristic type stuff like they had at the end of Battlefield 4, where they introduced some prototype weapons, they could potentially be talking about prototype weapons of World War I, such as the tank, or possibly some planes or stuff like that. Technology that was new at the time. I'd personally love to see stuff like that, but I don't know. But I hope you guys at least got something from this video. I want to evoke a sort of discussion down in the comments. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think they're actually going to do, and what would you like to see them do? I would like to see your comments down below, so leave me a comment, tell me what you think. Just to briefly comment on the gameplay, by the way, guys, I was going double shotgun and just fucking around with slugs and stuff on the 870, having a blast here. Played a few rounds, ranked up a couple of times. I know most of my games have been live commentary so far, so I've been kind of documenting that with Road to Shitbucket, but I decided I wanted to hop on and play a couple of rounds and just have a blast. But I want you to just pay close attention to this one last clip here. So, capturing the flag, and it was being contested by a couple of enemies. Take the guy out with a short 12 gauge, and of course this enemy tank is just chilling out here. So, explain to me how this happens. How did one of those pieces of C4, how did it miss? I don't understand how it missed. It in no way looked like I missed, but I missed. But either way, hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Oh shit, shit. Fucking hell, man, you don't charge like a fucking psychopath after the guy you're chasing, man. Like, that's just the first thing, you don't do that. That's fucking stupid. Oh shit.